I still remember the smell of that little garage, dust, coffee, and a kind of electric hope that only dreamers can smell. That's where it began, not in a boardroom, not in Silicon Valley towers, but in a cramped garage with two young guys and a belief so wild it sounded like madness. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. They weren't just building a computer. They were building a rebellion against limits, against "this is how it's always been." And that first computer, the Apple I, wasn't sleek, wasn't beautiful. But it worked, and it changed everything. By 1980, Apple wasn't a garage dream anymore. It was a revolution with a logo. That half-eaten apple wasn't just a brand. It was a symbol. A symbol that whispered, "Think different." But then, success started to taste bitter, because what no one tells you is, genius often comes with chaos. Jobs had vision, fire, intensity, but he also had a storm inside him. And that storm clashed with the calm of the boardroom. In 1985, the impossible happened. They fired the man who started it all. Steve Jobs was out of Apple, thrown out of the very company he created. Imagine that, your dream, your baby, taken away from you. But Steve didn't stop. He couldn't. He went on to create Next, a company ahead of its time, and he bought a little animation studio that no one cared about back then, Pixar. He was laughed at, ignored, forgotten, but fate never forgets those who don't quit. In 1997, Apple was dying, the innovation had slowed. The vision had blurred, the magic was gone, and so, in one of the greatest comebacks in business history, the prodigal founder returned. Steve Jobs walked back through Apple's doors like a ghost come home. And he didn't come to play safe. He came to resurrect. He looked at a company drowning in confusion and said just one thing: focus. He killed dozens of products, ended failed experiments, and started over, and then came the colors, the curves. The Soul Point. 1998, the iMac. It wasn't just a computer. It was art you could plug in. It made technology feel human again, and from that moment, Apple didn't just sell devices. It sold experiences. Then came 2001, the iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket. It sounds simple now, but back then it was magic. It changed how the world listened, how it moved, how it felt, and just when we thought we'd seen everything, 2007 happened, the stage went dark, and Steve Jobs held up a small, shiny rectangle, an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. Are you getting it? The crowd laughed. They didn't yet understand they were witnessing history, but that moment changed everything. The iPhone didn't just redefine phones. It redefined the world. Every year after that felt like another chapter in a legend. The App Store, the iPad, the MacBook Air. It wasn't about gadgets. It was about empowering people to create, connect, and imagine differently. But even legends have endings. In 2011, Steve Jobs, the man who once lived in a garage filled with dreams, left this world. And for a while, the world felt quieter. Dimmer. As if a light had gone out that no one could ever replace. Yet Apple continued. Guided by the echo of his philosophy, Tim Cook stepped in, not as a copy of Jobs, but as a calm, steady hand who carried the flame forward. And in 2012, Apple became the most valuable company on earth. A $600 billion symbol of what happens when vision meets persistence. But here's the truth I've learned watching this story unfold. Apple's success was never really about computers, or phones, or design. It was about belief that even the smallest idea, born in a dusty garage, can change the entire planet if you dare to chase it. Every time I see that glowing Apple logo on a device, I don't see a company. I see a story. A story of rebellion, failure, faith, and resurrection. A story that whispers to every dreamer: stay hungry, stay foolish,